Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. It's Keith with Profit Lifter. Today, we are going to be talking about the power of A/B testing and the essentials of what you need to know to run an effective A/B split test on all of your marketing materials, because my goal today is to help you make money. That's it. It's really simple. So if you have any questions, any ideas, any thoughts, anything like that as I'm going through this, feel free to throw them in the comments. Let me know where you're hanging out with me from. Love to hear from you guys, and we're going to dive right in here and get rocking and rolling. Share my screen. All right, the power of A/B testing, data-driven marketing decisions. Now, if you ever have the opportunity to talk with me, like in depth, really in person, you're going to find out from me, I do not like emotional decisions. I am incredibly rational in almost every area of my life. I said almost all the time. It is a goal of mine to make data-driven decisions. I think a lot of times in business, I see a lot of business owners who will chase ideas and chase different concepts because it feels good. It feels like something that they might think would work, and so they jump after it. But a lot of times you find that these decisions aren't actually data-driven. They're not driven by real numbers, by just reality. They're just driven by an emotional response. So what we're going to cover is we're going to show you how to optimize your website, your marketing campaigns, have a systematic process for testing, and to make data-backed decisions to boost your conversions, engage your users more effectively. Because at the end of the day, when your funnels, your emails, your website are all optimized, you're going to spend less time marketing and more time closing sales. And that's what we want to do, is help you with that. So how does A/B split testing work? It's pretty simple. It's a pretty straightforward process. First, you're going to choose a variable. And the variable we're going to call it an element. So we're going to choose one element to test. So this, and we'll dive into all the different elements to test here in a little bit, but you're going to choose one, and then you're going to create a variation. So the one that you're going to choose, and the current condition that it is in, is your control group. This is your A. Your variant is B. So you're split testing A and B, A/B split testing. You're controlling your variant. From there, you're going to split traffic equally, meaning that you want to do a 50-50 split, because at the end of the day, if you're not doing a 50-50 split and you're doing a small split, you're not really going to see how it's going to perform. So you definitely want to make sure that you're splitting up traffic evenly. Now, inside your Profit Lifter account, there's several different ways that you can do this. We make it pretty easy to do this, especially when you get into to like your landing pages, your funnels, all of that. It's actually literally a visual process that you can just go in there, change it. It'll take you into your funnel builder. I may show you guys here in just a little bit so you could see what that looks like and jump into it. But then after you've done that, after you've ran the test for a while, testing can vary depending on how many different how much traffic you're driving. But usually I find that it takes about a month it can take 2 weeks to a month to really get a solid answer if it's close. If it's not close, you may know in like 2-3 days, you may know in a week. But you need to understand that split testing takes time. It's something that is not an instant fix. It's not instant gratification, but it is there to help. So, and the good news about this is, while you're going through this, you're still making money. You're still converting people with your emails, still converting traffic with your original, your control group. But that variant is going to give you that information that you need. Now, one of the things that I can tell you that I've seen that works really well is if you know that you've got a consistent funnel. Let's say you've got a funnel that you know is working, it's producing, you're getting leads from it. Keep running traffic to that, and then create a whole nother campaign that you just run traffic to that's specifically for a split test. The reason that I like doing this is, one, your split testing isn't just going to happen internally in your Profit Lifter account, but you should be split testing on your ad campaigns as well. But by doing this, you're going to make it so that you're not impacting your bottom line. You know that you've got a system there that's creating you revenue. You know that you've got something that is producing income. Then you start working on top of that, like starting your A/B testing, so that you know you have consistent numbers. But then you're investing more money over here into another campaign that you're able to really start ramping up, start optimizing. That way, when you know that you've got something that's performing better than your long running ad, now you can just flip it over and go, okay, here's what we're going to use. Here's how it's going to work. And you can do that without impacting your ad campaigns by simply swapping pages on your Profit Lifter account. All right. So what are we going to test? What are we going to be testing with our split testing? This is important to know. So the first thing that you want to look at is your headlines. Test questions versus statements. Try different variations of your headlines. Run it through ChatGPT. Ask it for several different variations. Try a pain. Try pointing out pain. Try an emotional response. Try an analytical response. Like test out different ways with your headlines and find different ways. Next, you want to look at your call to action. So call to action. This is something that I find fascinating. Like I see a lot of people that will just say, "Oh, schedule a consultation." And I've said this 1,000 times, and I'm going to say it 1,000 more, if not a million. When you are trying to get somebody to take an action, you have got to provide value in there. So play around with your call to actions. What you're going to find is when you start playing around with your call to actions, this can lead to just astronomical breakthroughs on how that you are actually functioning as a business. Meaning that if we sit down and we go, I'll give you a real life example. Right now, Brett and I have been looking at like our conversion rates for what it looks like when what it looks like for people scheduling consultations with us. Right now, we call them a tour. It does okay, but it's not really descriptive. It was kind of generic, but we really didn't have some of the stuff in place that we have now. So what we're working on is we're actually going to change this from tour to strategy session, where we're sitting down with people going, okay, let's look at your business, let's analyze, let's figure out what you need. Now, the reason this is so revolutionary for what we're doing is because now instead of just saying tour, we're saying strategy session. So now there's going to be a tangible giveaway with that strategy session to sit down and go, hey, look, you're going to need a website. You're going to need a funnel. You need to start running ads. You need to buy leads. You need to start blogging. You need social media, blah, blah, blah. Like just go through the list of everything that's needed for a business to effectively market, advertise, and be able to convert leads. And then we can create a document with it. The reason this is revolutionizing the way that we're thinking is because just by looking at this, just by thinking about it, we're already looking at, okay, how do we create a journey for our client or our leads, where when they come in after we're done, we could go, hey, look, here's your journey. Here's your strategy for getting your business up and going, generating leads, blah, blah, blah. Here's your growth strategy. Now we have all this data on the client and on our leads, so that when we're engaging with them, we can really start narrowing down what it is that we want to help them accomplish and how our products can work with them. So don't ever overlook your call to actions. That it's a very big one, and again, it leads to a better explanation of your product, as well as helping you to come up with better ways to convert them. Next, you want to look at visuals. Visuals are images are everything. We live in an image-driven society. Half of our country is hooked on TikTok. We're used to seeing fast things that are visually appealing. So try changing up your images. Try variations. Maybe try a product image versus a lifestyle image. Meaning that one image may be like if you're selling software, maybe an image of your software. The split test image, though, may actually be like a a business owner sitting on the beach reading a book, something that invokes a feeling of freedom, or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, or that you're trying to portray with that. But try different images, try out some different places, and then layout. Try different, test different page structures. And if you don't know what I mean by that, like if you look at a page, and we'll just take like the hero section, you'll have like your headline, content under it. Maybe move that to the left, put an image on the right, put a video on the right. Just change up how your content is being viewed. You may not think this is important, and it may not be important to you, but we're not trying to sell you. We're trying to sell all these other people, all these other different archetypes of humans that interact with things differently. Because this is what split testing is doing, is figuring out how to best present to get the most amount of people to opt in or to take action on your website. Last is pricing, percentage versus dollar amount off, especially if you're running a promo code. Try different things, just see what it looks like. Go, hey, over 20% off, or try $200 off, or like test it out and see what performs better. Is there a magic formula that works? This is the magic formula that works. Are you going to know what works best for your demographic until you try it? Nope. Any person, any agency, any marketer who tells you that they've got the formula down, they have the formula down for their ads, for their brand, for their voice. It doesn't mean that you've got it down for your ad, your brand, your voice. You want to make sure that you are finding what works best for you, for your audience, and for the people that you're engaging, not what somebody else has established. You want to get out there and find how to maximize your effectiveness in the marketplace. All right, here's some of the best practices for A/B testing. Number one, test one variable at a time. This is the biggest mistake I see with people, is like they'll get in there, they're like, I'm just going to redesign my whole landing page. Fail. Like instant fail. Isolate elements for clear insights into what works. Take your time optimizing. If you have an ad that is performing, if you have an ad that is already delivering results and things are happening with it, then you want to make sure that you're not going through and just tearing apart everything and rebuilding it. Because if you want to tear apart everything and rebuild it from the ground up, just run another ad. But keep your primary ad that's there, and then test one variable. Now, the thing that I will tell you is that when you do this, start at the top. Like don't worry about what's under the fold. So, for example, when I say fold, here's what I mean. When you're looking at a website, the part that you see on the screen when you initially pull it up is what is called the fold. And in website design and marketing, everything above the fold is your top number one highest quality content, imagery, videos, whatever it is, because that's what's going to get the maximum amount of eyes. So when you start testing your variables, start above the fold. Start with one variable that makes the most sense. It may be your headline, it may be an image. Like, just find one variable to start testing it and what works. From there, your second step is going to be ensure adequate sample size, meaning that you can't just run 10 people and go, oh, well, no one signed up, this one doesn't work. Run good numbers. Make sure that you're seeing how many people are actually there. Make sure you've got a good sample size. Like, I wouldn't make a decision on anything less than 1,000 views, because at 1,000 views, now you can really start to get a good percentage of what's really optimized and what's there. And if you're not doing 1,000 views, beef up your campaign. Just that simple. So make sure that you got an adequate sample size. Make sure that your audience, that enough people are seeing it, that you get a very wide range of people and different types of personalities that are going to look at it. Next, run tests long enough. Don't cut them short just because it's not working, blah, 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 blah. You don't know if it's not working if you're not giving it enough time. If you cut yourself short, you're basically just, you're just wasting your time. And so make sure that you're testing it long enough. What I recommend, and I think number 2 and 3 actually play very well together, because if you have enough people, that's kind of what dictates how long you should be running it. Then use proper testing tools. Google Optimize, Optimizely, VWO offers robust features. Your Profit Lifter account has A/B split testing built into it that you can test, that will automatically show you which one. And then when you see the winner, all you have to do is go winner, and it will automatically populate all that new data in there. Now, again, we have let's put this on a quarter strategy, a 3-month strategy. You launch your ad, you've got your control there. Immediately, as soon as you launch your ad, you should already start split testing one variable, and again, make it above the fold. Start there. Now, it may take you a week or two, depending on how much volume you're getting, what your price points are, how much you're spending on ads. But then from there, now you'll be able to say, okay, you know what, this is working better. And so you may have picked the headline for your first variable. And then from there, now you may look at it and go, okay, let's test an image opposed to a video. So this is an ongoing process. This isn't something that you do one time. The best thing I can recommend is to keep track of what you are optimizing. If you're not tracking what you're doing your A/B testing on, you may get in there and start testing stuff that you've already tested, and now you're just going backwards. So make sure that you're keeping track of it. Ensure that you're getting enough people, run your tests long enough, and make sure that you're watching your analytics and that you're using your testing tools. All right, so those are the best tips. Let's talk about mistakes. Here's how you can just completely jack up your campaign. Here, so a common A/B split testing, changing too many elements. Again, do not go in there and just try to create a whole new landing page. The reason that you do not want to go in and just like, let's say you're split testing a funnel, your initial landing page on your funnel. If you go in there and you just redesign the entire page from top to bottom, you're not going to know what it was that you did that produced the best results. Meaning that when you go to create your next page, you're not going to know that if you're changing something, was that the linchpin that was causing all of these conversions, these higher conversions. By slowing down how many elements you're A/B testing, you're split testing, this is going to give you the ability to know exactly what it is that produced those higher results. Then from there, you can incorporate that same practice every time you go into building a new landing page, building a new funnel. So don't change too many at one time. Keep it simple. Do one change at a time. Don't go overboard. Make sure that it's working. Ending tests prematurely. You can see these are kind of just the opposite of what we were just talking about there. But ending tests prematurely. Early results can be misleading. Give your test enough time to gather sufficient data. And if you start running ads for any amount of time, you're going to see you'll see a cyclical pattern that will happen, especially as your ads start getting optimized. And what I mean by this is that, like, you may run an ad, and then all of a sudden, like, you'll get an influx of leads on Tuesday and Wednesday. But the rest of the week dries up a little bit and you're not getting as many. And then it just starts happening like clockwork. And the reason is because the algorithms are figuring out, like, who to deliver, when to deliver, how to deliver the best those ads to get you the best results. If you end prematurely because you hit one of those spike times in your ad delivery, now you may have almost inadvertently shot yourself in the foot, because the split test may have just hit those people that it was optimized for at that time. So make sure that you're giving plenty of time, that you can see the peaks and the valleys of your opt-ins, opt-outs, conversions, all of that. Because if you're not, you don't ever make decisions based off peaks. You make decisions based off consistency. And that's just good for everything in life. Next, ignoring statistical significance. Small sample sizes lead to unreliable conclusions. If you don't have enough people going to your page, you're not going to know if it's optimized. Ensure your results are statistically valid. If they're not valid, don't do them. It's really that simple. This last one is a good one. Single metric focus. Look beyond immediate conversions. Consider how changes affect the entire user journey. Look, as a small business, and I'm guilty of this. This is my emotional response. I look at it like I can get wrapped up in a single metric focus. I may look at this and may look at a funnel and go, hey, our conversions suck. But then if I look in deeper, I may go, oh, because they're not converting here, they're going and doing research on additional pages, and then they're coming back around after they've been to those pages. Don't get wrapped up on just conversions. Conversions are incredibly important, but you also want to see, like, are they a return visitor? Because one thing I'm notorious for is when I'm visiting it, if I find a funnel, especially like if I'm like on Facebook or Google and I see an ad and I go into it, I'm not going to that funnel. I'm clicking out of that funnel and just going to their organic domain name to see their website. Like, I want to see how their offer compares to the data that they actually have on their website. So for me, I'm not somebody who would fit inside of a single metric focus. I'm somebody that's going to go outside, look and figure out, okay, you know what? I like the content that this company is bringing out of their funnel, but I want to look at the whole picture so I can make an informed decision. And when you take your focus off of just the immediate conversion, it's going to help you to understand your audience better, and it's going to help you position your website and your funnels better. Now, what does this actually look like in practice? Some of the things that you can consider, like with a single metric focus, is like how long are they staying on the page? Like if you're doing split tests and you find that you're doubling the amount of time that they stayed on the page, but your conversions are still low, that is an incredibly positive metric that you're watching now. Because now instead of you just going, well, that didn't work, just scrap that, I would keep that, because if I can double the amount of time that they're staying in my funnel, now I need to go through and figure out, what do I need to optimize now that they're there twice as long? What do I need to optimize to get to improve my conversions? Because again, if I'm just focused on my single metric, then I'm not looking at the whole picture of being able to get out there and actually focus on keeping them on longer and then increasing my conversion rates from there. So don't be so narrow-sighted. Look at all your metrics, not just one of your metrics. All right, next page. Using A/B split testing for growth. This is a good one. Ad performance, definitely a must. Test copy, your content. What are you putting in there? What are you saying? Test short form, medium form, long form, question-based, pain, agitate, insight, or answer. I don't remember the full one. It spells out PETA though. But basically, just try different ad copy. Try different images. Try carousel images. Test your targeting. Don't do it all at the same time though. You see the rule here. You want to make sure that when you're doing your A/B testing, that you're focused on just one of them. So I would start with, like, I usually start with images first because I'm a very visual person and I like making images, so it makes it easy. But I would focus heavily on, with ad performance, starting with your images, because people don't read your content until you've captured them with your images. Because if I see an image and the content on the image isn't engaging, I don't care what I'm reading. I don't care about anything else you have to say. Focus on your image first, then focus on your copy. If you find that your image isn't producing more landing page views, if you find that your test copy is not producing more views, then look at your targeting, because now you're giving your targeting some time to figure out if the ad is relevant. If you split test your image and your copy and it's still not converting, that's when you need to get into your targeting. So there you go. Next is your email campaign. Email campaigns, optimize subject lines, optimize your content, optimize your preview content. Your preview content, like when you pull up Gmail, it's like it'll have the title and then it'll have like one little line under there. That's the other thing that you want to be split testing. Try different buttons. Try like basically all the things that we've already covered. Try it. Next, website UX. UX means user experience, enhanced navigation and user flow. The easier you can make your website for people to find content that's relevant to them, the more active, engaged they're going to be. So split test your website. Try different navigations. Try different images. Try wording things different. Try positioning your products different. Figure out what works. And when you find the formula, like the way that I always know that I have found a good formula that I'm excited about, it excites me and my team first. Then we start to see it in the conversions. Because if I get excited about it, it means that it's resonating with a part of me that I wasn't thinking about before. And then landing pages, maximize your conversion rates, focus on how long. Now, and we may do this next week where we get into some tips for optimizing conversion rates on your landing pages, because I love these topics. I love talking about these. But with your landing pages, you want to focus on how do you maximize your conversions? How do you get people on there? How do you get them to take action? How do you capture more people faster, easier, and more effectively? That is the whole name of the game, and that's why we're doing this. But these are really the 4 areas that you should be focused on optimizing. Make sure your ads are optimized, your emails are optimized, your website, and your landing page. If you have all of these 4 areas optimized and converting to the best that they can, your ads are going to perform better. You'll make more money by spending less money. It's a win, and that's the name of the game. All right, next, interpreting and applying test results. This is a good one because if you're running split tests, you need to know what you're looking for. Analyze the data. Review your metrics and identify clear winners. Be logical. If, again, I gave you an example earlier. If you see that more people are spending time on your website, more people are spending time on your landing pages, but they're not taking the desired action, you have a positive response. You just don't have your positive response. Analyze the data. Think critically about it. Dive into it. Next, implement winning variations. It doesn't do you any good to split test if you're not going to use the winner. So that, and this should be common sense, but sometimes common sense isn't all common. But implement winning variations. Make sure that you're using the ones that should be there. Monitor long-term impact. Track performance beyond the initial implementation. Meaning that, like, if you're running an ad and let's say you change up some language, but you start seeing that language 2-3 months into it are causing people to cancel out of your services prematurely, then you know that maybe your content of where they're coming from is not what it should be, and that you're setting an unrealistic expectation that when they're taking action that you're not able to fulfill on. So monitor your long-term impact. It has more, there's more than just making a sale. You have to think about retention. You have to think about happiness. You have to think about, are people excited about using your product? Are they excited about using your service? If they're not, then, even though you may be getting more conversions, you're not gonna have those long-term relationships, those repeat buyers, those profit maximizers for you. And you're going to be missing out, and you could potentially be shooting yourself in the foot. So monitor the long-term impact and think analytically about it. Like, don't get emotional. Just look at what's there and then come up with rational database decisions. And then plan follow-up tests. Use insights to design your next experiment. Once you've tested one, just go down your pages. If it's an email, start with your subject line. Get more opens. Then if you're getting more opens, now you start focusing on, okay, how many clicks are we getting? Oh, well, now we've optimized our clicks. How many conversions am I getting from these clicks? All of these will play into each other, but create a plan for it. Don't just willy-nilly go out there and shoot. And if you want a simple plan, start at the top and work your way down. Start at the first thing that your lead or client's going to see, and then just work your way down from there. In email, the subject is the first thing they're going to see. The preview context is the second, and then the email content is the third thing they're going to see. On a website, everything above the hero, and this is the website and landing pages, everything above the hero is the first thing that they're going to see. The second thing that they're going to see is the actual content that is on there. So if it's not visually appealing, then you want to focus on your content. Or once it's visually appealing, then you want to focus on your content. So just be strategic about it. And it's not complex. Like, I would never advise you to go through and like, oh, just start at the bottom footer. Nobody cares about that. Start at the top, because that's when they're making up their mind if they're going to proceed or not. And then use your insights to design your next experiment. If you find that wording your content is working a certain way, if you find that like emotional responses are performing better than analytical responses, then use emotional responses. It's really that simple. And then, but don't use them, but split test them, because not everybody will like all emotional responses sometimes. You don't know until you start testing. All right, lastly, final thoughts and continuous cycle improvement. First, hypothesize. Form an educated guess about what might work better. If you don't know, ask your leads. Like, hey, what got you to opt in on our landing page? What was it? Excuse me. What was it that really caught your attention and got you engaged? Test. Run experiments to validate your ideas. Don't just get out there and just throw it out there because you think it's cool. Test it. Make sure that it's gonna work. Then learn. Gather insight from your results. The more you know about how to convert your leads, the easier lead generation becomes. Learn from your insights. If you figured out how to keep people on your page longer, implement that on everything that you're doing. If you figure out how to get them to click your buttons more, use that on everything you're doing, which leads us to the last one: optimize, apply findings, and start the cycle all over again. Create different hypotheses. And if you're not creative on this, jump into ChatGPT, jump into your AI, start throwing out ideas. Look, I love AI. Like, it has already transformed everything that we do, how we're doing things, why we do it, all of that. If you are getting stuck on any of this, ask ChatGPT. It's really that simple. And then just have a conversation. Play dumb. Just ask it, like, look, how do I need to optimize this? Create a strategy. Like, give me dates of what I should be looking for. Create benchmarks and use this as a way to continuously improve. What I find with a lot of people is that they'll try running an ad campaign and they'll try it for a month and they're like, it didn't work. Did you optimize it? Did you test it? Did you figure out what's going to work? What's going to be the best way for people to engage with you? If you're not testing, you're not trying. It's just that simple. Don't give up on an ad campaign. Don't give up on something that you're doing. Start focusing on testing to improve your conversions. Because your initial ad may not be the greatest. You may figure out through this, oh, well, okay, you know what? I improved my traffic. I improved my views. I improved how long they're there. I'm improving the click rates. But now you're focused on your conversion rate. Once you have this down, when you create your next ad campaign, it's going to, like, you already know what's already worked for your past one that you can implement on the new one and skip way ahead in the line. And then once you start optimizing that new one, you can go back to your old one that's still running and start implementing some of the stuff that you're doing there as split tests to see how it performs. It all works together. I find that a lot of business owners fail in running ads because when they get out there and they're running traffic, they just quit because it's not doing what you want it to do. Just because something's broken doesn't mean you throw it away. It means you fix it. You make it better. Instead of spending countless hours building new funnels all the time or building new ads, fix the ad you got. Fix the funnel you got. Make it work. To split test it. Optimize it. Get out there and try some things. Try silly things. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But you'll be amazed how much stuff will work that you would have never have thought would work. So don't be afraid of getting out there. Try running some split tests. Again, remember our best practices. Number 1, test one variable at a time. Number 2, make sure you're getting enough traffic there. If at least 1,000 eyeballs aren't seeing it, bump up your ad spend. Get it there. Number 3, run your test long enough so you can see past the peaks and valleys of when the ad's performing. And number 4, use proper testing tools. Watch your analytics. Make sure you know exactly what's happening on your landing pages at all times so you can see it. And if you have any questions, reach out to Profit Lifter because we are here. We love to help, and we would be more than happy to discuss how you can optimize your landing pages, your conversions with us. And if you have any questions, check us out on profitlifter.com. Schedule a consultation with us. We'd be more than happy to sit down and help you out. And until next week, you guys are rock stars. We will see you next time. Have a great day.